highlight of Jared's modules because this is what probably he is, I don't know, one of the top 5, 10 people in all of the United States at doing something, because not many people have as much history of doing live on TikTok Shop as he. Now, as we've talked about in other modules with Vincent, America is so far behind China as far as live shopping. I mean, there's people in China who are selling millions in minutes, but so this is, that being said, I think this is an excellent time to get in early. And then when it really takes off, which I really think it is, I mean, like, United States is the one who created live shopping, like 40 years ago, like QVC and stuff like that. Why live shopping online hasn't taken off, I just don't know. But I just am really confident, without having any inside information or knowledge, that it's got to take off one of these days. Maybe not to the point of China, but it's going to be much bigger than it is now. So now is the time to start honing in your strategy. So overall, I know, sometimes you think some of the product card sales came from live too, but if you were just to estimate, not just looking at the numbers, but what percentage of your overall sales do you think have come directly or indirectly because of your live streaming strategy?
Probably 50 to 60%.
50 to 60% of his millions of dollars of sales on TikTok from live selling. So this is obviously very important to him. It could be very important to you as well. So I don't know where almost to begin here. Let's maybe talk about the setup. Like obviously the setup you have now is not what you had from day one.
Yeah.
So somebody who's just getting started, maybe it's not time to invest in huge screens and DSLR cameras and streaming software. But if I'm a newer TikTok Shop seller, what's the bare minimum hardware-wise, lighting-wise of what you would suggest that somebody should have?
So when I started live streaming, I literally was off my iPhone. And so I was live streaming for probably 5 months just off my iPhone, okay? And so I didn't have any special mic. I didn't have anything. Now, I had some cheaper lights that I'd picked up off Amazon. Maybe I spent like $100 on some lights, so they had to look, because I'm shooting my warehouse, right? So it just really depends on where you're setting up. If you're in your home and you have some good natural lighting, you might not need to invest as much from a lighting standpoint as me shooting in my warehouse, right? And so, but literally, I started with my iPhone and a couple lights. I went and just painted the backdrop. And I got up and going. So the thing is, like, a lot of people, I think we just overthink it. And I was afraid to live stream. I was like totally freaking out, right? And so mentally, I kept putting these different things on my head. Oh, I should do this. Oh, I should do that. And it was just like these artificial barriers that I did put in place to like stop me from going and doing. But I needed the money, right? So I needed to start doing it, right? And so I finally like worked through all those like excuses. And I just got up and started with my iPhone, a couple lights. I did start with a monitor, and so I could see my metrics a little better. But literally, I went and got like this trash can from Walmart, a 50-gallon trash can, and put a 2x4 in it and strapped the monitor to that. And so it was a super ghetto like setup, right? Because I just needed to get going. And so but nobody was seeing that, right? And so like you might have this ugliest looking studio or whatever, but like as long as they have a decent look from the phone, that's great. But you'd be surprised. Like, so if you're wanting to like start live stream on TikTok, go on the platform and just look and see what people are doing. There's some really polished sets and they have like 10 viewers, right? And then you have others where somebody's shooting a video in his garage laying on a mattress.
I've seen that one.
And he's got like 2,500 viewers and he's making bank, right? And so because he's got this interesting set, so like don't like overthink you have to have this super polished set to get started.
Let's talk about the don'ts to do, like, as far as, maybe let's just take even a step back. What are the don'ts as far as from a TikTok policy? Like, for example, like I'm assuming, hey, no nudity or, like no showing drugs or stuff like that. Talk about some of the no-brainers like that. But then what are some things that might not be so common sense that actually is a requirement for TikTok? Like you need to have something moving. I don't know, like.
Yeah. So there's different things that TikTok's gonna look for. It's depending on your category, but yeah. So you want to have activity. So TikTok is fundamentally an entertainment platform, right? And so they want to have something that's entertaining. So there are some people that try to get away with like doing loops and things like that, where they've like recorded videos and things, and so like those will get flagged. Like if you're not like on the screen, like talking, those type, there's not some type of motion. And so literally I've had times where I was on the screen talking and I stepped off just to do a flash sale for like 15 seconds and I got a policy point because because of inactivity, even though I was talking and the mannequin was rotating, right? So there's things that get picked up because of bots. And they'll flag you, and so like you
maybe have to be in front of the camera, or like what if I'm just showing my hands or something, or
some motion. It's supposed to be some motion and talking. Now you need to be able to show the product. You're not supposed to be selling a product that's not being shown, right? So we've had times where we were doing like an order packing live stream, and you'll see some of those usually with some of the candy companies. They're like packing orders and things like that, and so but you can see the product. Like we've done some where we're packing the orders and then we got flagged for not showing the product, and so they got to be able to, like, customers got to be able to see what it is that you're actually selling versus like you're just selling random things. I'm not actually showing them, and so that's what people probably get in trouble for more than anything. Now, if you're using, like profanity, you're trying to sell like certain things that are banned on the platform or things like that. There's some things as far as like gamification, like games of chance and things like that, gambling, that there's issues with as well.
Okay, so that's some of the don'ts. Now, I remember seeing one of your presentations before. You had some amazing do's. We won't go into all of those details. There's too much to talk about. But you had some pretty unique ones, like even having like a whiteboard, and instead of like just text that it's printed off on the screen, but like a whiteboard that you just with a marker. What are some having something in the foreground and having a contrast in the background?
Yeah.
Talk about like some of the setups and best practices that probably most of us who've never done live selling could learn from.
Yeah, so there's three main things when you set up your set, right? First is the product. The product is number one. So a lot of people are watching TikTok sound off, right? So when they're scrolling, you got to be able to stop the scroll, right? Yeah. And so like they need to know what it is you're actually selling. So if you're just up there and you're thinking it's all about the host, it's not. It's about the product. So the product needs to be front and center. They got to, when they're scrolling on TikTok, they got to be able to see, okay, what is it that you're actually, what are you actually selling? And so product should sell itself for the most part, and the host is there to support it. Now, for an apparel brand, some cases the product is being modeled by the host, right? Mm-hmm. And so that may be a little different. Whereas if it's a supplement or something like that, you may be seeing hands, or you may not see the host. But then, so you've got the product, you've got the host who supports the product, and then you have depth. And so there's a couple different setups, right? You might have a POV, and so with the POV, which is like where you're just seeing the product and it's pretty close, you don't have the depth there. Most live streams you'll see a little bit of a depth, and so you'll see a lot of live streams shot into a corner because it actually gives a perception of more depth versus shooting against a flat wall. So if you're in a room, you're limited on space, try to angle into a corner. You want the product front and center. That's really the star of the show, and then the host is there to support the product. And but yeah, so as far as the comment on the handwritten thing, so the human brain wants to read handwritten text, and so we're just really good at ignoring computer text, and so like because we see it all the time. But if we see something handwritten, our brain wants to stop and read it. So even if they don't care about your live stream, you go and write a name or write your price or write free shipping. And people will stop scrolling, literally just, it's, they don't even intend to, they'll stop scrolling and click in just to read your text. So there's some things that, like, if you want to understand what's doing well, I would encourage you to watch other live streams and just take note of, like, what are people doing, right? What are the polished people doing maybe that aren't doing really well? They don't have the viewers, but the people that actually have viewers on their live stream, what are they actually doing? Douyin in China, it's all about entertainment. It's all about selling, right? Yeah. Deal. Whereas in the US, it's a lot more about entertainment, all right? So what are the things that you're doing to entertain the person, stop the scroll? I've seen some food truck things that are like, guys like cutting a cucumber. Like he's sitting there just cutting a cucumber. He's got like 3,000 people watching him like just speed cut these cucumbers. So it's very interesting as far as like what people will like stop and click on. So you want to have action. You want to have something that's
actually, I'm thinking about your product, somebody cutting a cucumber, and then that could be a little bit traumatizing. Yeah. But then again, that could get you some views right there.
Yeah, we haven't tried that, right? So, but there's things like, what are things you can do that are engaging, like fun? Color is really important, right? To have a lot of color within your set. And so you have enough that it's people want to see what's going on. What is going on there with this live stream? But it's not like too much that it's just like overloaded and they don't know what's going on, right? So it has to be focused enough that they actually understand what's going on. But yeah, so for us, like we try to do different fun things. Like our mannequins are all named. So we do giveaways like on the live streams where people name the mannequins, right? They do these naming competitions. So all the mannequins have their personas, their names. We need to set up all their TikTok accounts so they have their own individual like TikTok affiliate TikTok accounts for the mannequins. And we play off that too, right? So that's the thing is when people come into the live streams, like they might you might be intimidated because they make negative comments and things like that. You just gotta, you gotta roll with it. So I mean, we could talk a little more about that. So I'll just talk about the live streaming all day long because it's super fun.
How many or how long should each live stream be approximately?
You want to go at least an hour. So especially when you start, you have to go at least an hour because you got to train the algorithm that you're actually going to be serious about it. So if you are not going longer than an hour, the algorithm says, hey, this person's really not serious about live streaming, and they're actually going to deprecate your future views. And so you need to go at least an hour to start, even if it's like not going really well and it feels like you're just talking to air. And so you need to go an hour. And it gives the algorithm time to train itself. It needs time to actually cycle through different viewers to present on different FYPs to see who's interested in your content. And so if you only go live for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, like you don't give the algorithm enough time to really explore and give it an opportunity to learn what type of content that you are actually presenting there. Now, if you have a bunch of video posts, like the algorithm already has a general idea of the type of audience that may be interested in your product and it knows who to present to. But if you're starting off a new account, like it's vital that you're at least going an hour. I would recommend closer to 2, like trying to do that. And it can be hard, right? I totally get it. I mean, I've probably 400 hours live streaming. And so like it can be hard when you don't have comments, you don't have people like engaging with you and you feel like you're just talking to the air. And it's like Groundhog's Day every 35 seconds, like for like a million times in a row, right? So you create your script and you just talk through it and you just loop through it.
So then, like I only have 4 products or something. I can only talk so much about those. So like maybe I only talk about it 2 minutes. And after those 2 minutes, you start back at the beginning.
Just loop again, right? So the average watch time is, on TikTok, you're 30 to 40 seconds as far as how long somebody's going to watch. And that's skewed to the slower side where you have people that are only watching like 2 or 3 seconds. And so it's more difficult mentally for the host than it is for the viewer. Now we have people that literally watch for hours. They watch our live stream.
Even though you're saying the same thing.
Yes. And then they're like, you said that same thing again and again. It's like, yeah, we have. But we're trying to sell to the average person, not the diehard. Because we have people that will literally watch our whole life. They come home from work and they just watch our live stream, and which is super cool. We have these diehard fans. They're moderators, and that helps a ton to have the moderators on there. But the typical viewer, it's 30, 40 seconds, right? And so literally, it's Groundhog's Day. Just going through that loop. Now it gives you an opportunity to craft your hooks, right, and see what things are going to hit with audience, right? So with us as we're presenting, going through the scripts, we're watching our viewers, right? And so hey, maybe this way, maybe the angle I'm holding this mannequin, there's something about it that hey, we are seeing higher engagement, so we're getting better retention there. People are sticking around, or maybe it's this hook, this talking point that I have, and so it gives you an opportunity to test a lot of hooks because you're saying the same thing again and again. One of the biggest things that hosts struggle with is they get tired of saying the same thing and then they'll go off on tangents, and then when you have somebody that shows up on the live stream, they're totally lost because you're off on some tangent talking about your family vacation, right? And you don't it's not focused on the product. And so you do have to be disciplined and have to be focused to try to keep the conversation really around the product. And you can get distracted by comments. People will ask comments, and so you want to try to leverage those comments and kind of roll it into your script. And some of that really just comes with experience. But the way that you're going to get that experience is just to start and to do it. And it might feel intimidating to start, and you're not sure what to say. But the thing is, if you suck, if you're not doing well, it's 10 people in Wisconsin that saw you. But if the only time you're going to see a lot of people and feel like you're embarrassed in front of a lot of people is if you're actually doing well. right? And so, and it's not like those videos are saved anywhere. Like you do the live stream and it like goes into the ether. It's like a snap, right? It's just kind of going away. And so just get out there and just try, just start. And if you're uncomfortable and you're having a hard time, like nobody's going to be able to see it, and probably nobody that you know is going to see it anyways.
Let's see if we can find one of yours if they're live right now, and some others right there, and start critiquing and get some ideas. You can tell us what's good and what's bad. Okay, so this is just the first one that came up on my screen here. She's got 340 people watching this live right now. I'm number 346. So what are we looking at here? The top left is her store.
Yeah,
and or the brand page or the store.
That's her brand page.
Okay, so then if I could follow, I'm following her now.
Yeah.
What is this little thing right here? Shopping, ranking, and League D1 data. What the heck is all that stuff?
Yeah, so there's a number of different challenges that you have with live streams. Some of those might be for shops. They might be just for people that are influencers, where they're trying to get gifts and those types of things. And so you have these different rankings and challenges that show up at the top. Now she's doing the Viber plate. So the Viber plate's super popular. So like when we just clicked on, she wasn't on there, and so it's like hard, and the product was kind of behind her, so it was hard to see. But now you can see it being demonstrated, right? And so with TikTok, it's products that you can demonstrate tend to do a lot better. Now you have people doing supplements, and Goli is the top selling on TikTok, but it's a lot easier to sell a product if you can actually demonstrate it, right? So now as you work down the screen here, on the left hand side, you do see this percentage. That's a coupon, right? So those are special coupons. So as you're a host, when somebody's new to TikTok, they might not realize there's a coupon there. So that's one of the things that the host does. It says, hey, up in the upper left hand corner, there's that icon. There's going to be coupons available. Make sure you're clicking on that and taking advantage of the coupons that you have going on. Okay. Now is that something that this streamer has a program and some like back end or something to get on there, or so automatically comes up if there's a coupon? Yeah, she if there's any type of coupon there that's available, so it may be a TikTok offered coupon, that seller may have the coupon, or it may be a shop coupon. So there could be a number of different reasons you have the coupon there. It could be your individual, like as your individual shopper, there are certain coupons that TikTok will give to them for like first time purchases, or you haven't purchased for a while, or things like that. So TikTok is purely paying for that coupon. And so that's one of the things the host will do, is say, hey, there's coupons up in this corner, right? Now, as you go on the left-hand side, she's got some stuff she's got these little tags, these little images that show like the shipping, and then talking about the weight that the product has, or as far as like how much it can support, like how big.
Now, this is something that when she sets up the live, she programs.
Yeah, she puts that. So you put those pins in the before you go live, you can go and set all that up. So like for us, we do our size chart, and that's what we put there. If you have more sophisticated software, you can do a lot of different pins and GIFs and all sorts of stuff. So, but
what are these little things here on the top right? Fan club, newly upgraded, explore.
Yeah, so if people are giving her gifts, then they get into the fan club, and there'll be things that will pop up if they're doing different gifts, as far as the top gifter and those types of things. A lot of those are more related to people that are just streaming for gifts versus the shop. Okay, so now you did just see pop up just before I mentioned that it actually showed the little orange bar that went across and said, hey, so many products have sold during this live, right? Mm-hmm. May have said, I didn't see it. Maybe a 10 or 15. So anytime she gets a sale, anytime you get a sale on your live stream, people will see it. They'll actually see that somebody actually purchased something. So that will just pop up. And so, and then also, okay, there's one person that's viewing the product right now. So that just popped up right now. So if we clicked on the pin down here at the bottom, then we would be viewing the product. Yeah. So if you clicked on that.
Oh, and the live is still going on in the back.
The live's going on. So the other viewers would see that. Oh, so now somebody else is viewing the product, and she would see that somebody's viewing the product, and so she might choose to talk to the person that's like viewing the product. Now, hey, this is how you'd actually view it. So you would actually purchase it. So you scroll down. So say there was color or size variations. You say, okay, scroll down. We have these different colors variations. There may be different. Sales associated with different colors. There's a coupon showing up there again where you could claim it, so that's 109, almost 180,000 of those sold. So
and this it says this kind of urgency thing, live flash sale, and then there's this countdown.
Yeah.
Is it probably going to reset after it gets down, or like this is literally I only have 1 minute to get this 15%, 30%?
Yeah, you have 1 minute. So it depends on the product, right? Because your viewers are only on there for 30 or 40 seconds, right? They and they might not want to watch it for a long time to check and see, hey, are they just going to reset this flash sale and have more available? So we typically are doing our flash sales. We'll do a 5 to 10 minute flash sales, and then we go to a different product. And so we might do that flash sale for that product once in a day.
Who's controlling all that? Like if this lady obviously is not, because she's right there on her vibrating
the vibra plate thing.
this vibrating device here. So does that mean she's got like somebody in the background who's like throwing this stuff up and down on the flash sales and stuff like that?
They may. My hosts go and set that up before, and I would set that up beforehand, right? So you can go within the seller center. You can go and set up your live streaming flash sales, and so we will go and set those up and schedule those. So before I go live, I'll go and schedule a 2-hour live stream and put that in those increments. Now you can do it ad hoc, like on the device. So say you're selling real well. Say you have a product and it is just hitting really well, and people keep coming in. I've gone and extended that flash sale a couple different times, right? So I give, because the product is just hitting, I'm having people come in and buy it. And so like on the device, you can go and create another flash sale. So I've done that 3, 4, 5, 6 times because I had products that are just hitting. And you want it when you're on a trend on the live stream, you want to just keep hitting on it. Okay. And so, but yeah, it helps if you have a person that can moderate or can manage that in the background. So you can adjust some of those things, but when you're just starting off, you just got to do it all. And so in some cases, these hosts, they already set all those flash sales up to begin with, and they've got an exact timer that they know what they're gonna move from this product to the next.
It's like the second shop one is about the same product, so this must be a hot product on TikTok.
2,000 people almost watching that one.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even see that. Wow.
So you see they're shooting into a corner. So we talked about shooting into the corner there. They've got some like the blow up animal type things, got some flags. So they've got the video thing going on there. So she's got some different things that she's putting in the shot to just draw your attention, to kind of get you to click in.
And is she doing what people do on Amazon, which Amazon tries to ban now, where right before Prime Day they'll jack up the price to like $160, and then they'll put it down to 65, and then so that it gets this negative like 60%. Okay, so you can do that more easily on TikTok, I guess.
And you don't have to actually, with Amazon, you have to have a sale at that higher amount to get the strike through. Amazon or TikTok, you don't, right? So you could go put that at $1 gazillion, right? So you go put it whatever, and then you have the strike through with the lower. So we always have our list price about at the same as what we have the Amazon list price at, but then we just have a monthly flash sale that we're a sale that we're doing, and then on our live streams we have additional flash sales that we're doing. So we have a sale that takes us down to be equal to Amazon's effective sales price, and then we're doing flash sales that'll take it below that.
Now here's somebody with a very, like, I would say, ghetto setup as opposed to those others who have all that. This guy looks like he's in his living room, sitting down on his dining table, and he's got 200 people watching him.
Yep.
Selling this product. He's got like in this thing he put some like product features, I guess.
Yeah, just basic features.
He's got a lot less going on here, but he's got 220 people here watching him talk about these headphones.
Yeah, now he's got the product front and center, right? So that's key. He's got really good depth there. He's not shooting the corner, but he's got pretty good depth and decent lighting. He's probably got some ring lights going on in the front there, just the way that he's lit up on his face. And so he probably has some lights that are there on the table or there on the stands, but it doesn't have to be like anything absolutely amazing. But yeah, so that's the thing, is like people just will overthink what it is to sell. This is not a QVC style type deal that's super polished, really expensive. Now the thing is, like, these hosts are using those comments as well. So they're paying attention to the comments. Live streaming on TikTok is interactive. This is not a one-way like a QVC. It's interactive. So you got to learn how to work with the comments and engage those viewers. They have questions. So that's the cool thing on TikTok, is when people have questions, you're actually answering those questions, versus like on Amazon, somebody might come to your listing and have a question. They could go put something in the Q&A, and hopefully like 4 years later you get a response or something, or they'll get some response sometime. Where on TikTok, like, they're getting rapid real-time response. And the cool thing is, when you go live on TikTok and you have somebody ask a question, and then like for us, we'll have like 10, 20 existing customers that are on there to get the deal. They're on there just to get a deal, right? But then they're responding to that other customer's inquiry or question. And so like there's way better social proof when you're doing that. And that's, again, one of the benefits of TikTok with post and other things. It's just that social proof. And so like you don't always have the host that's responding to them. As you build the community, you have customers that are on there that they're on, again, watching you because they want to pick up the deal on the flash sale, and then they're answering the questions, right? And so when you have somebody ask a question, hey, I think these, or say something, I think these stink, right? These are horrible. And then you have like all these like people jump in to defend the brand and the product. And it's not just the brand, it's not just the host talking about it. You have all those other people. It like really is really pretty cool. I'm selling men's underwear with a pouch, right? So it just looks funny, right? And so you have people who come into the lives and they're like, why did this show up in my FYP? This is so stupid, right? And they come in as a total hater, right? And they come into the lives, and we don't try to shut them down.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, comments are really important in TikTok.
Helps the algorithm.
It helps the algorithm. And so we don't want to fuel like trolls and things, but like if they're going to hate on this stuff, like that helps the algorithm, right? And so we want to engage with that, right? And so we'll just roll with it, right? And so we have people come in, they come in as a hater, and then you take them to like, oh, I think this kind of makes sense. And then it's like, maybe it's that live. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 lives later. The problem is they came into their live, then they commented, so the algorithms now tag them. And so they're not getting rid of us now, right? And so we're going to follow them around TikTok. And then you take them to where they actually end up like, oh, this makes sense. And then they purchase something, and then they come back as one of the missionaries, right? Yeah. And so like, don't get too fixated on somebody coming into your live stream and hating on you, because the thing is like, they just might not understand the product. They don't understand what's going on. But you have the ability to actually like engage with them and help them understand your product in a way that you can't on Amazon, or you can't on a retail store shelf. And so we've had these people that there was no way that we would have sold to them before, but because of the power of TikTok live streaming, we are able to go and help them understand the benefits of the product, and then become an avid or like crazy fan of the product.
All right, so I'm starting off in a couple of weeks. I've got 3 or 4 products. I need to prepare a script, maybe a minute to 2 max, and then I'm just going to regurgitate of the products. 1 hour for the first one. And is this something you should do daily for 1 hour the first week, or what should I be dedicating to this?
Yeah, so I mean, to the extent that you can, that is great, because the thing is like different times you're going to get different viewers, and some of it is actually finding the right time. So you might do an hour at this time and it's really not very good. You need to test some different times a day to see when you're going to get the engagement. You might have some times of day that you're going to get viewers, but other times of day may be better for actually like conversions, right? And so like we actually do decent in the morning. We have a large number of viewers that are watching before they go to work, right? From 7 to like 9 in the morning. I mean, we're shooting in Central Time Zone, so you're trying to pick up East Coast and West Coast, and so they do pretty well at that time, but then it's dead during the day. There's usually kind of a noon time that picks up, but it depends on your product, depends on who you are and when your people are on your tribe or on TikTok. But we are generally doing the best like from 7 to 9 like PM in the evenings. But depending on who you are, like you just got to test some different times. If you can try to do an hour a day, that's amazing. But it is because you got to set your flash sales up. You got to do some work beforehand. So it can be 30, 40 minutes to get things set up before. So it's a pretty good investment to get started. But I would try doing a couple hours a week just to get up and going, and don't burn yourself out right to begin with, because it can be like, if it can take some time to get some viewers and to just feel more comfortable like doing it. And don't get too stressed out if you don't have the viewers, you don't have the sales right off the bat. You got to train the algorithm. You got to get more comfortable just with the narrative and the talking points. I recommend just getting a whiteboard, putting your bullet points up there, like your Amazon bullet points, or you can have Chad or Claude write you a script to go, and so you have a little more detail. And with my live streamers, sometimes they'll get distracted, they'll get off, and I said, hey, just go back to the bullet points. Like, so if you get off on a tangent, just go back to the bullet points and just start going down them again.
All right. So we're going to probably in the future, bring Jared back maybe remotely to talk more about live and do some like actual setups, and maybe I'm going to show you guys what I did once I start mine. But in the meantime, do what we just did. Break open your TikTok, look at the the people who have like, 1,000 people consistently on there, or 200, 300 people, what are they doing? The people that you see have 2 or 3, what are they not doing? To know what not to do. And then follow him. How do we find again? Real
Men Apparel Company.
Real Men Apparel. They're streaming every day. Either himself and he's got a team doing it. They know what they're doing. Sold millions thanks to Live. So make sure to go on there and try and like get some ideas about what they're doing, and that's making these lives take off and be so profitable. But guys, in the weekly buzz that we do with our news on the Serious Sellers podcast, for like years, I've been talking about how big Live is in China, that, and Amazon's trying this new thing, and let's see if and things haven't taken off. But I'm seeing more signs like in the last 6 months, whether it's celebrity stuff or even non-celebrities. I mean, you guys just saw it right there. Some kid in his living room had 300 people watching him talk about his headphones.
One product.
And this other lady had 2,000 people watching her vibrate on this little table thing. You wouldn't have seen that 2-3 years ago on Amazon or on other platforms. So it can be said that Live is somewhat taking off now, because you're seeing numbers and things that you haven't seen before. So get ready to do Live, guys. All right. TikTok is not just about influencer marketing, which is kind of like what I thought until I met Jared before. I was like, the only path to success on TikTok is just reaching out to a certain number of affiliates and influencers and creators and having them post content. Yes, that's an aspect of it, but do not sleep on TikTok live shopping. TikTok has invested a lot of money into this, and rightfully so, because this is something I think is going to take off. So you guys have your homework to do, and I'm not sure if there's any comments below that you can leave. Let us know some of the things that you find, and send over your TikTok channel, and I'll go support. Tell us when you're going to go live. We'll go support you. We'll comment to boost the algorithm. We'll flame you on there to cause some controversy and stuff. Just like you said, we'll help you out. So let us know what your live is, and we will be there as long as you come support my Coffin Shelf live. All right. So we'll see you guys in the next module.